Hello everybody. Welcome to my Tuesday Night Live. Thank you for joining me. I'm so glad you're here crafting with me tonight. It's a beautiful night in San Antonio, nice and sunny. It's about, I think they said it was 98 degrees right now, so a little bit hot, but that's to be expected in the summer. I can't actually believe kids are going back to school next week when it's going to be 100 degrees. Crazy, right? And it's only August 11th next Monday, so you know, bad news for us in the traffic too. So crazy. Is the summer gone? Is that what it means? Summer's over? I hope not. All right. So I have a fun set that we're using tonight. I hope you like it. I'm kind of a farm girl at heart. I feel like I could easily live on a farm. I love it. I love nature. I love everything about it. So I was really attracted to this set from the get-go. And so I'm excited to share some projects tonight using it. All right, you guys, hi Lisa, these projects are kind of fussy tonight. There's a lot of die cutting and little pieces, which is something I love. So hang in there with me. We'll get through it fast. I've die cut everything in advance. So hopefully it'll help us move along with our projects. All right, I'm gonna turn my camera around and we will get started. All right. Lisa, you could be a farm girl too, huh? Yes. I don't know. Does it mean I was a farm girl in a former life? Is that a thing? I don't know. I have one of my grandma's sisters and her husband had a farm. And we used to love the days we would go visit the farm. That was just the best fun when we were kids, going for a day out to the farm. Okay, you guys. This started today. The in-color products are 15% off. It's not just like the colors of the stamp pads and stuff, but also like some DSP and things like that. So check it out. I love a good sale, 15% off. So take a look at that. For everyone who's a demonstrator, it was also a big day because it was new online exclusive pre-order and the new mini catalog pre-order. So yes, I did a little damage this morning. I'm excited about it. I can't wait till my stuff gets here. So that's fun too. If you would like to be a demonstrator, you can sign up as a demonstrator and then you would have access to those things early as well. Okay. Let's just get straight to the cards, right? These are the cards we're going to make tonight. I have You Had Me at Fall, cute little pumpkin scene. We're going to do this one. We threw in a Christmas because that's one of the things they offered, right? Little season's greetings and some Christmas trees. So that's going to be our second card. This one's a little bit more masculine. And this one just says, hey, it's your birthday. Cute. You guys, I am in love with the corn. I think the corn is like the cutest thing ever. I love it. And then I just did this little gift box. We've got some cute little pumpkins in here. And this just says you're the best. So those are our projects for tonight. Let me move everything aside. I feel like I'm not that well organized tonight. But we shall do fine, right? Okay, using a lot of stamp pads, a lot of color this week. All right, this is the bundle, Tractor and Company. Some nice, fun greetings, kind of small greetings that they have here. And then these really fun stamps, super cute. And look at this set of dies. There's 19 dies in this set. That's a lot. And we're going to use a lot of them tonight. So... all right. For the first card, I also brought this back. Do you guys remember this set? Still available. It was a big seller last year in the fall, more than autumn. Super cute, cute, cute set. And I used You Had Me at Fall. So I used those stamps for that. This is a great set. So I had to bring it back a little bit for the fall. We're also going to use perennial postage dies for a little bit of an outline. So we've got those two. All right, here are the pieces for this first card. I like to always mention, if you would like to get the pre-cut cardstock, the pre-cut make and take kit for these cards. All you have to do is place a $50 order in my Stampin' Up store by Saturday, and I'll send this to you for free. And when you see the kits, the cards come out of the packages, the envelopes tonight, that's what you're getting. This is how it comes, okay? So just FYI, that's how you'll get it. Okay, so starting right off the bat with some nice fall colors, I've got some Cajun Craze basic card base, 5 1/4 by 8 1/2, and we're scored at 4 1/4. This one's going to open like this. I feel like most of ours are. All right, the DSP, a lot of the DSP we're using tonight is this Timeless Plaid. Do you guys like this paper? It's pretty fun, right? Pretty country. Love plaid. So many colors to choose from. Beautiful, beautiful patterns. I love this set of paper. It's really great. And I feel like perfect for our projects tonight. So I took a piece of the Timeless Plaid with these colors right here, and I cut this down to 5 1/4 by 4, and then I have this one, which is 5 1/4 by 3/4, and we're going to put this on the inside, and this is going to be our first layer on the outside right here. All right, and so this, what I'm going to do on the inside is just do, instead of using white, I used beige, basic beige, right, to go with this card, because I just felt like there was some basic beige in the background of this, so that's what we went with. Hi, Jolene. So let's start putting a few things down. If we put them down, we get them out of the way and they don't get lost, right? All right. So I'm going to put this on the inside. Did we do anything else on the inside? Oh, look at some pumpkins. So I shouldn't have put that down yet, right? We'll make it work. Not to worry. We'll figure it out. I love when I do stuff out of order, because I'm not paying attention. Okay, there we go. There's our card base all set up. So I have another piece of basic beige, again, just 5 1/4 by 4. This is going to be what we're going to do our stamping on. And this first one, we're doing stamping and die cutting, not just die cutting. So we're going to stamp our images. This is the piece of Cajun Craze that I used out of the perennial postage dies. And so this is going to be a nice little frame. And then I have this piece of basic beige that's going to fit nicely right inside of it. And this is 4 1/4 by 2 7/8. That doesn't seem like 4. 1, 2, it is. It's 4 1/4 by 2 7/8. And that's just going to fit in here, and that's going to be our background. Okay. So we'll put that aside. We're going to stamp some corn stalks on that. Well, we might as well. If we're going to stamp, let's leave that out. I have a couple little pieces that we're going to stamp on of the basic beige, and this one is 1/2 inch by 1 inch long. This is the one we're going to have you had me at. And did I already lose a piece already? Well, that's no matter. We can just cut another one out. Let me see. Hold on, it could still be in the envelope. Sometimes that happens. Yep, still in the envelope. There we go. Okay, and this one, do not, it's, you guys, I don't know. This is 1 inch by 1/2 inch, okay? This one right here, don't make fun of my measurements, is 1 5/16 by 1 3/4. What I recommend, just stamp it and just cut the piece out around the words. And that's kind of how I came up with the goofy thing. Oh, thank you, Lisa. That's so nice to hear. Anyway, if you get the kit, I pre-cut in these goofy sizes for you. And then lastly, I have this strip. This is the two-tone cardstock, which I really haven't used before. This is Old Olive. It's 4 1/4 by 1 1/4, and we're just going to rip this for a little bit of background here. All right, let's stamp. So we want first to do, let's do pecan pie. We're going to do the little wagon. So we'll stamp a wagon here. All right. Next, let's stamp some pumpkins. I think this pumpkin stamp is really, really cute. we're going to die cut all these out. So I'm kind of spacing them out a little bit. So pumpkin pie pumpkins. Let's do some hay in crushed curry. We've got our little bale of hay or pile of hay or hay stack, whatever it is. There we go. Let me put these a little closer so you can kind of see how they look after they're stamped. I love this one because you know how they do their stamps. You get a little bit darker, a little bit of lighter. It just looks really good. They do all the hard work for you, right? Stampin' Up. All right, time to get a baby wipe. Okay, what else do we need? We need some memento because we need a couple of wheels. So I've got some memento black and we'll do a couple of these wheels. I wish I could get a little bit closer with my camera. Urgh. Okay, then in crumb cake, I did a chicken. All right, and I think that's all the pieces that we have to die cut. All right, for our background, we're going to take some Mossy Meadow and do the corn stalks. We're going to do 2 sets of the corn stalks. Let me put this back here. And get these cute little corn stalks. Are you kidding me? So Midwest, right? All right, let's put these, we don't want them too far up. Maybe like here. And then let's put the other one. Why are my stamps? I feel like I need to re-ink all my stamp pads because clearly they're not coming out that dark. Okay. Corn stalks. Let's add the corn again in crushed curry. All right. Little corn. Maybe because I'm from the Midwest too, why I love this so much. All right. One more. These little corn fit perfectly, of course, as they should. Look how cute that is. I'm in love. Okay. Making a mess with my stamp pads here. Kind of put them back. I'm sure we're going to use them again. Okay, so these, you're going to take your dies then. And there's one for each one. You can see all the little dies here. This one's for the wagon, the hay bale, the small wheels, the pumpkins right here, the little chicken. So just line them all up and cut everything out. And then we're going to have these pieces ready to go right here. Okay, that, our little wagon. Okay, all the things ready to go. On our background now, I'm going to just tear just a little border on the two-tone cardstock. And you can see it has a white core, so we're getting a little bit of white, which you may or may not want. You could just use regular olive cardstock, of course, too, for this part. All right, I'm going to take a little bit of seal and attach it. And I want to line it up just so it's at the bottom of the corn stalks. Maybe like here-ish. Okay. My goodness, look at my hands already. That's not very straight. Let me see if I can straighten it out a little bit more. I did not go too straight. I'm not concerned about the bottom because, let's see, is that a little bit better toward the edge? I'm more concerned about how it lines up with the corn stalks. And then if I go over the edge, I can just trim it here. But as it turns out, it's pretty perfect. So I'm not going to trim anything. It's good. Good to go. Just the way it is. Okay. So that's our background. Let's attach it to our perennial postage frame. Now we have a cute little framed background. All right. Okay. Next, I'm going to take the wagon and pop it up. So let me get dimensionals. I feel like my dimensionals are a mess right now. I'm kind of working on a couple different sheets. I usually like to use up all my dimensionals before I open a new sheet. That's kind of what I do. But I also don't like to use the edges when I create my cards, because sometimes I'm tearing stuff up, and if you use the edges, you tend to use more. And I feel like it's harder to get up when they're full of dimensional as opposed to just little spots. So I try not to do that anymore when I'm creating, because, you know, I change things a lot. So let's put this maybe right here. And that's popped up. So now we have a guide for where we want to put our wheels. So let's put our wheels down with just some adhesive. And I'm just going to do the hay bale next, or the hay stack. And I'm going to put that in the background pretty high up. And then we can put our pumpkins over that. Cute, right? Let's put our chicken on. And I'm not going to pop him up. I'll just leave him flat. And while I was stamping, I should have stamped our words, but I did not. So we'll go back and stamp those. Our little chicken's going to go right here. He's cute. All right. You had me at... Hi, Roz. Yeah, Jolene, I love the pile of pumpkins too. Super cute, right? You had me at, and then fall in pumpkin pie. Hold on, gotta come way down. All right. Let's pop those things up. Let me get some minis out. Ooh, a new mini. I feel like things are a little bit of a mess over there because I have extra sheets. All right, do I have one going? I do. Let's use the one I have going. I feel like the minis last forever. Do you guys find that too? First of all, there's a ton of them on a sheet. So many. And then I don't use them that often. So I feel like one sheet lasts a really, really long time. Let's get these off. All right. Put this right here. I need to replace my blade. Things are getting a little fuzzy. And we'll try and squeeze a couple on here. What kind of projects have y'all been working on? Anybody doing Halloween? So many things, and now ordering a bunch of Christmas stuff today. I should be pretty much set though. Got all the holidays covered. On the online exclusives, I thought I saw a bunch of really cute, I'm just gonna get some of this fuzz off with a little sanding. Fall stuff. Really cute online exclusives fall things. Okay, there we go. All right, let's get some linen thread and tie it around before we put this last layer on. I'm going to tie it around, oh, you're right, Lisa, it almost does look like a sun in the background, right? I'm going to do it 3 times around. And tie it off. I need help with the linen thread. I think it's because of my nails. So let me get out my reverse tweezer to hold it. Okay. Now, I'm not super happy with the placement because I think it needs to go more to the other side. So I'm going to try and move the bow down a little bit. Let me just kind of curve this around so I can move it easily and not rip up my paper. All right, spread this out a little bit. Get my bow over here. All right, is that gonna work? Let's see. I think that'll work just fine. Okay, let's pop it up. Roz, thank you for the beautiful card you sent me. I love it. It's gorgeous. All right. Right in the middle. All right, so I kind of put this down before I did the pumpkins. So I'm gonna lift it up a little bit and stamp my pumpkins and then kind of put it back down. All right. And then of course you could put another greeting in here if you'd like to. Just the pumpkins peeking out a little bit. And this is just a tiny bit long, so let's just trim this up just a tiny bit. Okay. All right, pumpkins peeking out. All right, you guys, that is the first card. I hope y'all like it. I think it's cute. I love a good fall card. I'm ready for fall colors, although I'm not ready for fall. Okay. Oh no, Jolene, your neighbor's huge tree hit your roof deck and smashed our fence. Oh my goodness. Wow. Sorry to hear that. We've had that happen to us before too. That's no fun. All right, you guys, next project. Let's do this Christmas one. All right, this is fun. So this idea came from, this is one of the cards that they had in the Stampin' Up catalog. So I just printed it out. This was their version of it. And so we're basically doing the same thing, right? Just the tractor and the little wagon behind it with the trees and a little bit of snow in the background and some snow on the ground. I moved the greeting, you know, changed some colors. So that's what we're doing. All right. So let me get out the pieces. So what we're also using on this one, do you guys have this yet? Stripes and dots. This is fun for patterns. And it comes with 4 different stamp sets. I have the stripes and the dots out, and these 2 stripes are still in the case. I haven't put those together yet, but it comes with basically 4 separate stamps for these little patterns. And you can put them next to each other. There's a million different ways you can use this, right? But I thought it would be fun to use it for the trees. All right, so here we go. I also want to mention before I forget, these trees have a little texture, so you really, it's like an extra step. You really don't need to do it because the trees, as you can see, have this little texture that's going to emboss. So it's probably not really necessary, but I thought it added something, so I went ahead and did it. Okay, so we are going to start, look at all these layers. Oh my goodness. With a thick basic white, basic 8.5 by 5.5 scored to 4 1/4, thick basic white. Lisa, yeah, Sharon's Texas stamp set. I love that set. I didn't order it today, but I am going to order it, of course. It is so cute. I love it. I love the fact that there's palm trees in the words, and I also love the fact that there's like a y'all in there. And yes, I say y'all since I moved to Texas. So yes, I will definitely be getting that set for sure. So cute. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of layering on the inside. So I have 5 1/4 by 4 of basic blue or balmy blue cardstock, and then the white is going to be 5 by 3 3/4. So we're just going to do this on the inside like that. We're going to have 1 extra tree. We'll wait this time, and we're going to rip this up for a little layer of snow on the inside, okay? So this is just 5 inches by about 1.5 inches, okay? So that's what's going to be going on the inside. Then on this side, we're going to take this layer, again, 5 1/4 by 4 of Balmy Blue, and that's what we're going to do our little snow scene on in the background. Then we're going to do our ground snow scene with just, oh, I cut that wrong. Did you guys see that? I cut that wrong. That's not going to work. Huh. All right, let me cut another one real quick of what it's supposed to be. Let me see if I have any scraps, first of all. I feel like I've always got scraps. So what did I say this was? This has to be 5 inches. 1, 2, 3. It's 5 1/4. All right, because this is 5 1/2. So this is 5 1/4. So let's do 5 1/4 by about 1 3/4. I'm going to have to change that on my PDF. By about 1 3/4. And again, we're going to do a layer of snow with that. Okay. Let me get my pencil out, because if I don't change it now, I won't remember. 5 1/4 by, okay. All right, I hate when I send wrong directions, and it happens sometimes. And last night, I was so rushed trying to get everything done. All right, we'll talk about these layers in a minute. Let's take this, and we're going to stamp our snowflakes on the back, on the background. Okay, so this time I'm taking our Whisper White. And this, do you guys remember this from last year? This Falling Snow stamp set. So we're going to use this. So one interesting thing about this is you can see how it's concentrated here and lighter here. So you could do, like, if you have snow falling, it would probably go like this. So I'm using it sideways, but truly you can't tell, and it really doesn't bother me that it's a little more concentrated over here. So we're going to go ahead and do it anyway. So I'm just going to take my white and just ink this up. Look at, I'm full of white too. Why is it I don't know how to use stamps and stamp pads? Silly, silly, silly. All right. All right, so I'm just going to flip it over. Now I want to make sure I line it up because this is kind of big. And you can see there's some edge right here, so I want to make sure I get it all completely on here. So I want to make sure it's lined up right before I put it down. Although if I mess that part up, it's okay because some of it's going to be cut off on the bottom with the snow scene anyways. So okay, pretty, pretty, pretty. Let me hold it up so you guys can see it. It's subtle, right? Can you see it? It's very, very pretty. I don't know if you can see very good. It's subtle, but you have a lot of really good detail on the little snowflakes. They are clear and crisp. So that's our little background. Okay, now we're going to take this and tear it like we did the last one. And we'll have our little bit of snow in the background, our snowy layer. Whoa. All right up to the bottom edge, if I can. Okay, there we go. Little background action. Okay, now let's get out some other pieces. So this is what we're going to die cut the trees out of, and we're going to stamp the dots and stripes on that. We have these other pieces. So let me show you. This little piece is the C's for the back of the season's greetings. So that's going to be the back of our label. Let me tell you what it is for here. This is 1 5/8 by 7/8 inches. Okay. And if you guys get my email, I always put all the measurements in there for the cards. So if I miss something, you can always refer back to that. And I'm looking because I'm missing another label. Again, in the envelope. Huh. a little white piece from Perennial Postage again. We're going to stamp Season's Greetings on that. All right, let me show you the die pieces that we're going to die cut all these things out of, okay? So these are the trees. We're going to die cut 3 of this after we stamp on it. This is the tractor piece right here. So that's going to go on red. We need, hold on. We need the little wagon also in red. Okay, so we've got those 2 things. We need the bumpers, so we need 1 big one, and we actually need 3 small ones. So you have to run it through a couple times to get 3 of these small fenders or bumpers. We have the top of the cab, so you have the skinny little one that's also going to go into red. All right, and I think that's it for red. Now in the black, we're going to do some of the tires. So we need 1 big one. We need 3 small ones. So again, you're die cutting several times with this. You need a seat, which I did in black. You need the little like steering wheel type thing, which you do in black also. Okay. Silver, we need 3 small ones, and it's just perfect because it has 3 ready to cut and 1 larger one. And these are the inside of the tires. All right. So this is all going to get die cut out. Let me put all these back so they don't get lost. So yeah, a little bit of die cutting, but worth it for sure, in my opinion. Okay, back to this. I'm going to stamp Garden Green on Garden Green cardstock. And I put 2 of the stamps on this block right here. So I've got stripes and dots. All right, let's get our Garden Green and get that inked up. Now, Stamparatus used to work really well for bigger stamps, but I also thought if this doesn't come out perfect, I like a little bit of variation in the stamping. I don't know, it looks a little more rustic, a little more country, so it's fine if it doesn't come out that way. All right, I'm just going to stamp green on green right in the center, just like this. Okay, and you can see what I'm talking about with the variation, how it's not super solid, but I like it like that. I think it looks really good. Okay, then take your tree. Obviously the dots, you're just gonna randomly place it over the dots and cut it out. And then I did one with the stripes going horizontal, and I cut one with the stripes going vertical of the tree. All right, so here's all those pieces we just talked about. Let's kind of put these out. We've got our tires. We have our 3 little trees. Our tractor pieces. See how many little pieces we ended up with? But when we put it all together, it's going to be really cute. I got carried away with the fenders. I have 1 too many. And I think I have all my little silvers, so I think we're good. We've got everything. Let's do Season's Greetings right here in real red, and then we'll put everything together. All right, where is my real red hiding? Did you guys, as demonstrators, those of you who are demonstrators, order anything today? Did you have a favorite set? What are you looking at? There's some really cute stuff. Really, really cute stuff. The little gingerbread I thought was cute. Okay, let's start gluing some pieces together. So I'm going to take a little bit of glue and first glue all my fenders on. So I'm just going to kind of do little thin around the edge here and put that together like this. And the same thing with the small one. Where's my thingy? All right, same thing with our little red wagon. Needs a couple. when I was first looking at everything, I thought, oh, great, new catalog, exciting. I didn't realize at first that until I saw an email from my upline that, oh yeah, new online exclusives too, at the same time as a new catalog. I was like, whoa, so many things. Okay, so we've got that. It's not exactly even, but yeah, that's okay. There, that's better. All right, let's take our silver and put these onto our wheels. So I'm going on a business trip again tomorrow morning. Am I packed? No, but I've still got time, right? So yeah, still traveling. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do for next week yet. What I was thinking, and you guys can tell me what you think about this. I thought I two-dayed the orders that I placed this morning. So I'll have the stuff by Friday. And I thought maybe I'll go through the new stuff and do some samples and then do like an unboxing next Tuesday and show you some of the samples from the new stuff. What do you guys think about that? Is that something I should do and just not have make and takes for next week, or have some make and takes for new stuff? I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence as to what I'm going to do. But fortunately, it's just a short business trip. It's just a couple days. Going back to Chicago, but not going to see family this time because it's such a fast trip. And we're actually going to be in the north suburbs of Chicago. So, and I could have stayed on Friday and stayed the weekend, but, you know, I've used up all my PTO at work when we went to Hawaii, and I've spent a lot of money. So I'm like, yeah, I need to save some money now. All right, let's start putting things together. I'm going to pop these up to start with, and then we can start placing everything else around it. So let's do that. Jolene, I'm excited that you bought that floral washi. I bought it a long time ago. I haven't played with it yet, but it's super pretty. I want to play with it. And then, aside from, I just want to put this here so I can get a little bit of placement. I went pretty high on here. So I think right about here. I forgot what I was saying. I don't know. Okay. Now, obviously that leaves us some easy, what would you say, placement for the wheels, right? Those just slide right in here. Good. Oh, I was going to say, there's still a lot of sets that I have of other things that I haven't used yet. So got to use that stuff up too before all the new stuff hits for customers next month. Okay, we've got it started, right? Here we go. Let's take this real skinny one and put the little cab top on here. And then we can place our seats. So this is going to go right about here, just over the steering wheel. Probably a little bit more like that. Okay. And then we can just take our little seat and place that in there. Once you get all the pieces cut, it goes pretty quickly. There's our seat. Whoa, get back there. All right. Let's do our Christmas trees. And the first two I just put down, the third one I popped up. So I guess we can use glue since we've got it out. We're kind of on a roll here. One this way. One this way. Hopefully my dimensionals aren't getting too much in the way. And let's get a couple, oh yeah, Roz, those are cute sets, right? Yeah, the snowflakes. And did you guys see the snow, not only just the snowflakes, but one of the snowflake sets has, what do you call it when you do the blends on it? Masks. There's like snowflake masks, so that's fun. And the Aurora Borealis one, oh my goodness, the Northern Lights one, that's really pretty. I haven't seen anything like that before. Okay, let's put, man, I'm just really into the glue tonight, right? Just glue, glue, glue. There's our greeting. And we're just gonna put that down. Here, let's go back to the tape. Right about here. We can pop this whole thing up. Have you guys ever seen Northern Lights in person? I never have. I think that would be amazing. Yes, Jolene, the Christmas trees towards the beginning. Yeah, scenic sets I love too. And then, what was I going to say? Oh, I love a good poinsettia paper too. Nice paper. I thought that the cards that you just put together yourself with all those little, what do you call them? Oh, I can't think of it. Where you can just quickly put cards together with the little pre-cut cards and all that. I thought that was really cute stuff too. Okay, now I actually, and I didn't do it here, when I did this on the original card, I cut out an extra tree and I just placed it inside here in the snowbank. I didn't do it this time, so maybe do we want to stamp something here? Let's see what our choices are for stamping trees. So it looks like the tree stamp, we could stamp that. It's got the 3 trees. They're a little, you know, meant to be sitting in the cart, but I think it would still look okay on here, so let's do it. Let me find a block. There's so many stamps, I'm surprised they have a block left. I cannot keep my fingers clean tonight. I just can't. Let's do garden green. Let's just stamp that right here. You could do Merry Christmas on the inside then if you have a stamp for that. All right, let's do one more time with ripping for the snow. And then we'll put that down in front of the trees. Can't have any crud in our snow. I'm going to do the same thing here because I want it in a certain place. I mean, it might even be a little bit lower. Let's try again. Let's just leave it laying down. All right, like right, I think about there. All right, let's flip it over and take the extra off. The sticky extra. All right, let's get out our Wink of Stella because snow needs Wink of Stella. And let's just spread that over. We need a little bit of glittery snow. Let me get a drop of that somewhere else. Is that coming out? I don't know if you guys can see this on camera, but it gets super, super sparkly as it dries. Okay, going back to the front, I took a little bit of Balmy Blue, and they did this also. I'll show you in the picture. In the catalog, you can see they used, it's very light. It almost looks like they used a little bit of smoky slate under the wheels. And I thought, let's use a little bit of Balmy Blue on this. So I'm just going to kind of go a little bit under the wheels, like it's, I don't know, making a little thing in the snow, right? Just kind of like that. Okay, and then we're going to Wink of Stella the rest of this one too. I feel like my Wink of Stella is kind of stuck. And I don't like to have a big blob on my paper, but I feel like it's not coming out that good. I wonder if I have a little clog. Anyway, Wink of Stella on that too. I can see it. I can see it. All right. Okay, we are done with that. Let's put this layer down on the inside. I hate just a plain boring white inside. That's kind of why I did the blue layer, just to add a little bit on the inside. So we'll put that like that. There we go. That's our inside, our little snowy inside. This is out. So last thing we're going to do, we're going to add a little bit of bling. And I've got our iridescent faceted gems. They almost look like snowflakes. Can you see how they kind of look a little bit like snowflakes? So let's add some of those. I'm just going to use the little ones. And we'll just randomly add some of these little snowflake dots. So were there in the catalog, the new catalog, were there any like little snowflakes? I want to say there was like a little embellishment that was like snowflake stars or something. So many things, I don't remember. All right, are we done? Did we do it? I think we did it. That is our second card for tonight. Cute little farmy Christmas card. All right, that was card number 2. Let's go and do this one right here. Hey, it's your birthday. Cute. Okay, hold on, I need a drink of water. Lisa, where did your sister go to see the Northern Lights? Just curious. Just wondering. Yeah, Jolene, I thought there was snowflake stars. Yeah. Okay. Next, on this card right here, we're also going to use these textured notes dies. And I used this one right here, third from the largest. Okay. And the Misty Moonlight cardstock. Also, Stylish Shapes dies. Now, you don't have to, I thought this added just a little something. You don't have to use a die cutout for that. You can just stamp right on the white if you want to. But I just did it, so it's included in the kit. It's this one right here. I feel like I have to use those every single week. Okay, so we're going for a different color tractor this time. Here's our pieces. So we're going to start with our card base, and this is Misty Moonlight. Okay, and so this we've started with 7 by 5.5, and it's scored at 3 1/4 right here. Okay, so it's just going to open here. So it's got like about 1 inch right here at the bottom. Let me see what it actually has before I just throw out numbers that are lies. Okay, it's 1 inch at the bottom, and 3 1/4 here is where we scored it at. Okay, so that's going to be our card base for this one. On the inside, we just have a 5 1/4 basic white, and we're doing a strip across the bottom, and so that's 5 1/4, and this is 1 1/4 inches. It's kind of a thick one, but the reason why it's fat down here is because when we close it, it has to come all the way up there. Okay, so that's why it's a little bit thicker. And then we've got some corn stalks that are cut out, and this is cut out, so all this stuff can be added later. We'll actually wait to do this time. So I'm just going to set that inside for now. Okay. We are going to add, the other piece of DSP is 5 1/4, and this I think is 3 inches. Let me check. Timeless plaid, 5 1/4 by 3. All right, so that's going to go up here. The other is 5 1/4 by 1 1/4. All right, so let's put that down so we can feel like we did something, right? Let's put it down. All right, now we're going to build kind of another little scene. I want it to be just a little bit more over and centered. Okay. We're going to build our little scene on here. This is for stamping. It's just another like quarter sheet of cardstock. All right, so we have that Misty Moonlight textured notes die, and then this piece that's going to go inside of our little frame that we're making is basic white, and this is 3 7/8 by 2 3/8. Okay, so where do we want to start? Let's do the background on here, and just to add a little bit, I'm just going to do a little blending. So I have blending brushes. I'm going to use Balmy Blue. And we're just going to very lightly blend a little bit of Balmy Blue just on the top half. So we have a little sky color, right? Not too dark, doesn't have to be crazy. All right, then I did Granny Apple Green on the bottom. Now, that doesn't really go with the colors exactly because we're using a lot of Old Olive on this card, but I wanted it just to be a little bit brighter. That's why I went with Granny Apple. So that's going to kind of be our bottom, like our grassy area, okay? So now we've kind of got ground and sky, right? Just loosely, nothing crazy, nothing special. Just very fast. Okay, now let's talk about the die cutting. Here's our pieces for the die cutting. So again, we're going to do the tractor piece, which is this one here. We're going to do bumpers. I just need one of each this time for these bumpers out of Old Olive. The black, we're going to do the same thing. I just need a small and a large wheel. Those are going to be flipped, of course, to cut. The seat and the steering wheel, and then a large and a small of these little inside wheel covers, or whatever you want to call them. Oh, and also this little piece right here of the Old Olive. Okay, so we're just making a tractor, and then we're going to stamp 3 of the hay bales and the corn. So that's on our extra piece of basic white. So let's do that first, and then I'll show you what to die cut out of those, okay? Again, a lot of die cutting, but it's worth it. So fun. Okay, so in here we need 3 hay bales of crushed curry. I keep calling them bales, but I feel like they're really not bales. Aren't bales like when they're kind of rectangular? When my kids, you know, when we used to drive past farms when my kids were little, you know how sometimes they have the hay like all rolled up? And my kids used to call them hay roll-ups for the horsies. Instead of fruit roll-ups, they had hay roll-ups. Okay, so we need 3 of those. Then we need some corn. So, I'm going to do Mossy Meadow again. You could do Old Olive, whatever you want. And we're going to just randomly do corn stalks. And then we're going to do the corn separately because this is all going to get die cut. Again, so I'm going to make this higher up here. And these are all going to get cut out, okay? So, I'm spending more time washing my hands tonight. Okay, so again, here's our little hay die cut. So cut that out 3 times. We have this one. It almost looks like Christmas lights to do the little corn. So die cut that. And then we have the corn stalk die. So line that up. and cut that out like that, okay? So then we've got all our pieces ready to go and be die cut. So let me pull everything over here. Try not to lose anything. All right, let's make sure we have everything. We've got this, we've got our tractor, we've got our corn, more tractor pieces. Here's our little corn. Didn't lose any yet, yay. All right, and our little pieces. I think I got carried away with the wheel stuff. We've got some extras, let me put that aside. Okay. All right, one of these we want to stamp hay on. So let's get the memento out and stamp that. Hey, there we go. And then on the inside, I said that we were going to stamp this right here. It's your birthday. But again, you could just stamp it right in the card if you wanted to. If you think it looks weird on a die cut. Okay. All right, let's put everything together. Hold on, I need another baby wipe. This one's getting dried out from being overused. Okay, so we're gonna build on here, which I guess we might as well attach it. Okay. Let's start by putting our tractor together. Now this one, I decided I wanted a little more definition on the tractor. So I'm gonna take my old olive and a sponge dauber. Lisa, I have a daughter and a son. They both live in Chicago. 2 kids, 2 grandkids, a son-in-law. This is coming out kind of dark. But I'm just going around the edges of the tractor. Just add a little bit of something, right? Since it's just a die cut. Whoa. Has it been hot where y'all are? It's been so hot here, but of course that's expected, right? August in San Antonio. Okay, that's good enough. So let's glue the pieces of the tractor together to start with. Okay, and our little steering wheel type thing. And then we'll do the same thing we did before. We're gonna pop up the tractor and then we can put everything else in place. I didn't pop all my little pieces out of my die cuts. Let's get those out of here. Come on, come out. Okay, my goodness. I like when they add these little details. It really makes it look cute, doesn't it? All right, let's pop this up. Okay, And let's, oh, wait. First, let's put our hay down. I mean, one layer at a time. Oops, come on. Like that. All right, now let's pop this up. I want to make sure I have enough room for my wheels. So I think like that. I didn't prep my wheels yet. All right. Okay, we're getting there, right? Placement of dimensionals, not perfect. Hold on. Can't get my wheel all the way under. So I'm just going to lift that up a little until I get it where I want it. I feel like I need another mini dimensional over here because it's kind of sticking up. Am I being picky? Maybe. That would be unusual, right? Okay. Good. All right. Next, seat. We're running out of parts. That's good, right? Let's put the seat right here. We need the cab. Did I lose the cab? Nope. This would be a great thing to use the adhesive sheets for, but I don't have time for that. I'm always doing stuff in a hurry. All right, here we go. Okay, so this now, I took a couple of the corn stalks and I just cut it in half because I only wanted 2. Sorry, hold on, I'm catching up on comments for a second. Roz, yes, surface of the sun, same thing. Although we don't have as much humidity as you guys have in Florida, but still 100 degrees is 100 degrees. It is hot, 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 hot. Especially after being in Hawaii last week where, you know, it was warm, but you had those beautiful trade winds all the time. It was very nice. I was outside like the whole time, all the time. Here I'm like outside for 5 minutes unless I'm going swimming, right? All right, let's pop up our corn stalks. All right, here. And then we're gonna pop up a couple of the little corn. Now, I don't know which one goes with which stalk because they're all mixed up, but I know there's a specific order, right? But do I want to look? I don't know, maybe. I still can't tell that much. I think, does it really matter? I don't think it matters. They're all just little corn. So we're just gonna just pick 2 and put them in. Whoa. All right, so we didn't have to add the corn stalks, but I did feel like they added just a little bit of something that was cute. Come on, get in there. Stuck to my finger, it won't come off. Okay, so the corn's a little crooked, but it's okay. Okay, I think that's it for our scene. We're going to put it on here, but first let's put a little bit of ribbon. So I use the Misty Moonlight ribbon. So you guys, this comes in a starter pack with Misty Moonlight and white, but it's called a starter pack because there's only like 5 yards of ribbon on here. Hopefully this is enough to do this card. So it doesn't come with our usual, like however much isn't usual. How much isn't usual? Let's see. What's it say? Like this one, 10 yards. Okay, 10 yards. The other one, not so much because it's a starter. So I've been going through a ton of this, especially as I'm sending out kits. So I had to order a whole bunch more. I think we just barely have enough because it's got like half the amount of a normal roll. All right, so we're going to tie on the side again. This is a really pretty, don't you think this ribbon's pretty? It has a nice sheen to it. It coordinates perfectly. I just really like this ribbon. All right, let's kind of get our bow going to the side if we can. And trim this off. Okay, now we can pop this up and then we'll do the inside. All right, so I was only going to do 3 projects this week. I was just going to do the 3 cards because, you know, they're fussy. We don't need to get crazy this week. And then last night, I was like, you know, let's just do one more thing. So then I added the treat box. And I was going to make it simple, but, you know, things get a little out of control sometimes. Okay, so we are going to put this here. But I'm going to lift it up a little bit to put some corn stalks. So I'm going to add just a tiny bit of white border on the bottom. And then I'm going to do our die cut corn stalks and just put them underneath here. Just to add a little something cute on the inside, like right there. And then we'll glue our little pieces of corn on, our little corn cobs. We always have really good corn here, I will say. I'm pretty sure it's from Mexico, which is why we have it pretty much year-round, good corn on the cob. But it's always super sweet and super good. Okay, having trouble getting this where it's supposed to be, even with tools. Okay, there's one. Here's 2. And here's the last one. Okay, we can put this down or just stamp it straight on, whatever you want to do. And then we'll put this on the inside. Then I think we're going to be done with our 3rd card. Oh, I didn't want to leave the border of white on the bottom because I forgot it's going to show through to the front. Not the end of the world. I think it'll still look okay. But see, I think it would look better without the white on the bottom. Just FYI. Okay, you guys, that's it. That is the 3rd card. All we have left is a treat box. So I hope you like it. I think it's fun. All right, so this treat box. Now I wanted something easy. Usually by the time I get to the 4th project, I'm like, all right, we need something easy here because we've already done a lot of pieces and parts. And so I took one of these. Now we used to sell these, but they were smaller from Stampin' Up. So I got these on Amazon and I still have a lot of them. And I thought little candy pumpkins would be appropriate, which I also got on Amazon. So we're just going to decorate this little box. Oh, see, Lisa, I'm bad at decorating envelopes. That's a good idea. Yes, always decorate the inside of the envelope too. I should get on board with that. Okay, so yeah, so we're going to do this box. Oh, I was going to say, if you get the free make and takes this week, I'll send you one of these little plastic boxes too. Okay, so I'm not going to send pumpkins because you guys, all right, I bought these cute little pineapple gummies. I got them from the Dole Plantation. They were so cute. Little pineapple gummies, delicious, pineapple flavored. I bought a bag of them. We were in my suitcase. I get home. They're all melted in their little packages. It looks like yellow soup in each one of those little packages. Texas, 100-degree Texas. And probably, you know, we went through Las Vegas, so that probably wasn't great either. So, yeah, all my little gummies melted. So I'm not going to send pumpkins in the mail, okay? Plus, they're loose. I don't like to send loose stuff. I only like to, you know, send stuff that's wrapped and safe and all that kind of stuff. So, all right. Let's get out our pieces for this. I also added, now I was looking for a special label for this, right? I usually like something that says thank you or for you or something. And this, do you guys have this set? Label Me Grateful. I just think the font is so pretty. And it's just a really nice set. Use any type of sentiment you want on your card, anything you want. I just thought You're the Best was so pretty and cute. So that's what I went with. I added another. Roz, I did put them in the fridge and they taste delicious, but they are not pretty anymore and they didn't turn back into pineapples. But they're good. So I didn't throw them away because I'm still going to eat them. They're delicious. But yeah, I did put them in the fridge. Isn't that crazy? Texas. You know, when we moved here from Chicago too, any candle I had in boxes, all the candles melted, you know, so that was awesome. All right, here's that box I was talking about. Super simple to put together. I wish we still had those, but you know, we on and off have really cute packaging. So I like something that's see-through though, or to have a little window so you, because sometimes you have cute candy to go with stuff, and I want you to be able to see the candy. Like I wanted the pumpkins to show. So, that's why I wanted something clear. So anyway, I'm just going to fold this up. It has a nice little, like a little flap that tucks in. So that's going to go in here. Take your pumpkins. I just got from Amazon, I got this whole bag, right, of pumpkins here. All right, let me dump some in just so we have the full effect. I don't want to dump sugar all over, but give me a second to fill my box. Yeah, Jolene, that Label Me Grateful, that's a cute one. I like that one a lot. All right, almost got it. A few more pumpkins. The thing about these boxes is they hold a lot, so you need a lot of candy if you're going to fill these up. They probably make smaller sizes too, I would think, but I like the ones Stampin' Up had because they were a little smaller than this, and they were like the perfect size. Okay, there we go. We've got some pumpkins. Let's seal this up. All right, so this is what we're going to build off of. Okay, let's just start with tying it up with some ribbon. This is not going to be enough. I'm going to open a new one. So I'm using basic beige ribbon. Now this is the one that's no longer available, but there's a brand new one that's basic beige, okay? And I just didn't have it. I don't know why I didn't have it yet, but I guess I didn't order it, which, okay, you can't order everything, right? So I'm using the old one, but if you get the make and takes, I will send the new one, the new basic beige ribbon in your kits, because that is on its way and coming. So let's just tie a bow, and that helps keep our box closed. But if you have this basic beige, use that too, because, I mean, basic beige is basic beige, right? Let's use up what we got. But there is an alternative with the newer basic beige. So I'm not leaving you high and dry here. You still have basic beige you can order if you need it. Okay, there we go. Trim it up. All right, how are we doing on time? Not terrible. I thought it was going to go longer tonight. All right, hold on one second. I need a second. Yeah, Lisa, the pumpkins are sugar coated and they're very tasty. Oh, the pineapple candies. Yeah, Lisa. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, so here are our pieces. This one's pretty easy, right? Okay, we're going to use this to stamp on. This is basic beige again. So this piece right here that fits on here is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 Mossy Meadow, 3 1/2 by 3 1/2 more of the Timeless Plaid DSP. So we're going to have that for our background. Let me put this down so we can start building on it. All right, that's going to go there. We need to do some stamping and die cutting. I have a basic beige Stylish Shapes circle that we're going to stamp and blend on. This is going to be for our pumpkins and chicken and wheels. This piece right here I took from the, hold on, don't tell me. It is Country Woods DSP. So I thought we'd have a little wood look to our wagon. So I'm going to do the wagon and the 2 wheel covers out of here. The 2 insides of the wheels out of the silver. This is going to be the backdrop for our label. Okay, so I did perennial postage die for You're the Best. And then I have this piece of Mossy Meadow, which is 2 by 1 1/4. All right. So let's get going on. First of all, let's stamp first. I'm going to do just a little bit of Mossy Meadow on the bottom to have like almost like a little grass. So again, this only takes a second just to blend. We don't need it too dark. All right, we just did the bottom. Can you see that? Hopefully you can see okay. I got kind of a glare going. All right. We're going to stamp some corn stalks in the background. So I don't know why I just closed that. What I meant to do is put this paper away. All right, corn stalks. Let's do it again. I'm going to do them a little bit high because I'm going to have my wagon towards kind of the bottom. And then let's get out our corn cobs, crushed curry. Line these up. Okay, that piece is ready to be built on. Okay, what are we stamping on here? I think we're just doing pumpkins and a chicken. And then we're gonna, oh, and 2 wheels. All right, pumpkins are over here. And the chicken I'm doing this time in pecan pie. All right, isn't the chicken cute? Look at the detail on the chicken. He's pretty cute. Very, very cute. All right, for the wheels, I used early espresso this time because I didn't want them to look like black and rubbery. I thought they could look more, a little bit like wooden. Wait, it's early espresso, but doesn't it look like there's purple all over? I don't know. All right, so two early espresso. Okay, that's it, I think. Oh, and let's do early espresso. Let's do You're the Best too in early espresso. Okay, there we go. I caught a little bit of the stamp on the bottom, but I can use my eraser to get rid of that. Okay, let's bring over the pieces then that we die cut. All right, so die cut all these little pieces out. And we've got our wagon, our pumpkins, our chicken, all the things we need. Again, a little carried away with the silver. Okay. All right, let's do some gluing. I like the colors on this one again too. It's kind of rustic, kind of fallish, just kind of cute. I did wooden fenders. I know that's a little weird, but I think they look okay. It just didn't look right without them when I did it. With just the wood and no fenders. It didn't look right. So that's kind of what it looks like. Silver, and then we'll start building. You can see my chicken's a little off when I die cut it too. My die must have moved a little bit. So it's not the most perfect chicken, but I think we'll take the scissors and trim off a little bit of that white or basic beige. All right, I think we're ready to start putting this last piece together. Let me just trim off a little of this excess where I kind of messed up on my die cutting a little bit. Everything's fixable, that's what they say, right? Okay, I think that looks a little bit better. Okay, so let's build. This is gonna go straight here, flat. Get my corn stalk straight. I'm putting this up maybe just a little bit more towards the top than the bottom, okay? There's a little more space down here. Let's pop up our little wagon. Anybody doing anything exciting for the weekend? When is, I wonder, you know, have you guys had your tax-free weekend yet? I don't know when it is in Texas. I need to look that up and see. When is tax-free weekend? All right, I think this will be good right here. Pumpkins in. Oh, I think I popped those up too. Oh, well, I don't think it matters that much. Let's put our little chicken popped up though. Another opportunity to save money, right? Because I think with Stampin' Up, you save money on like adhesives and markers and things like that on tax-free weekend. I would think it would be soon, unless I already missed it. That's possible too. All right, chicken on. Let's just do our wheels. Whoa. Okay, this will easily go on. You can pop it up if you want. I'm just going to do it flat and add a lot of adhesive to make sure it sticks on over the ribbon. So we'll just center that. We've got a little bit of a clear border around. We're going to just get our sentiment together here. Let's try and do that straight though. All right, if you make a little boo-boo like I did, just take your sand eraser and you should be able to get that off. It takes a minute, so I don't know if I want to take the time to completely get it off, but that's better. And then we're just going to put this kind of on an angle. Oops, let's get the pumpkin. Okay, let's add a couple of dots. I wasn't sure what kind of dots. I played with some different ones. Oh, happy birthday to your daughter, Lisa. Minnesota doesn't have a tax-free weekend, huh? No, they don't taste like pumpkin, Lisa. They do not taste like pumpkin. Do they taste more like orange or something maybe? I don't know. They don't taste like pumpkin because I would have been like, ew, no. Okay, so what I landed on was the low profile sparkle dots. So I'm just adding a little bit more of this yellow with the sparkle. I thought those looked okay. The other thing I was going to do is maybe the metallic dots to bring in a little bit of the silver. But anyway, this is where I ended up. These dots are so pretty and so sparkly. I love them. Come on, except they're a little elusive. I can't get to them. Okay, you guys, that's it. That is our last project. Thanks for sticking with me. You guys, thanks for joining me tonight. I think these are kind of fun projects. I hope you like them. That sounds good. I wish, Roz, I wish I could see my grandkids more. I'd love for them just to come over and swim. That sounds amazing to me. How fun. I hope y'all have a very good weekend. Okay, so we had Are You Had Me at Fall. We did our little bit of Christmas with this one. We have this little bit more masculine one, which I think is super cute. And then we ended up with a little bit of a rustic pumpkin candy treat box. All right, thank you. Thank you, guys. So thank you for joining me. I love spending time with you guys. I appreciate it. If you're watching on the replay and you like the projects, please give me a thumbs up on YouTube. Share if you're able to. If you would like the measurement sheets for this, it'll go out in tomorrow's email if you're on my email list. If you don't want to be on my list, that's fine. That's no problem, because I'm happy to still email it to you anyway. So just email me and say, hey, could you send me that project sheet? And I will happily do that so you have the measurements to make these projects. Okay, you guys, thanks. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys next week. All right, thanks, everybody. Bye.